Coming up on SEO Lunch, we braved the blizzard of 2013 to give you a shovel full of great SEO content.
Things like Windows 8 and New York Times changing the way we interact with advertising on mobile devices, building brand awareness, link building, blog guest posting,
and Co-Citation.
Co-Citation, I forgot about that, and 16 fun Valentine's Day cards. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of SEO Lunch. I'm your host, Matt.
And I'm Dan.
Dan, we finally dug ourselves out of this blizzard that we had up here in the Northeast.
The blizzard of 13.
So we are a little late, but let's take a look at what's going on in the SEO world. Just a reminder, careful of your iPad. You don't want to drop that. Just a reminder, what is the SEO Lunch? This is the show where Dan and I take some of the top stories from inbound.org, which is a great SEO web marketing site. We kind of break it down and digest it for the small business owner, brand new SEOer who's just getting out there in the world. And we're taking some of the top articles that we think you can just run with and start an actionable list to start working on right away.
Great.
We want to get to 500 subscribers. Please subscribe.
Almost there.
We're almost there. So let's get right into it. First article of the week, Windows 8 and the New York Times explore new concepts in advertising. We're going to be talking about how people are not just consuming ads anymore, but how they're interacting with tablets, mobile phones, and all that good stuff.
And then Multi-Info Tech is going to be taking us on a ride, showing us some useful guidelines for sensible mobile web design. Basically how to, position your website, how to create the functionality to make it work and make it easy to read and easy to use.
Transformed link building into brand building in 2013. I love this one. This one's from Search Engine Journal. We're going to talk about putting the focus on brand recognition, guest blogging, forum participation, all this stuff that takes a lot of time that people just don't really get excited about when they jump into it, but they get the results in a year or so.
Awesome. And speaking of taking a lot of time, we also talk about the war of attrition of reverse guest posting, basically getting other people to post blogs on your website.
And it is Valentine's Day, so we are going to wrap it up with a fun Valentine's Day article from our friends at HubSpot up in Boston, 16 marketing pickup lines.
Very cool.
So let's hop right into this first discussion.
Great, let's do it. Windows 8 and the New York Times explore new concepts in advertising.
Yeah. Interacting now, it's not just about consuming. It's not just about a pay-per-click ad or a Facebook ad. It's about how are folks going to touch and feel and taste and smell the ads in today's ever-competitive marketing world.
Yeah, they take a look at two specific examples in the article. One is Delta Airlines and how on Windows 8 tablets specifically, that's why we mentioned it a little earlier. We're so used to swiping left and right on our tablet devices. Delta, the airline, says swipe up, and they have a little interactivity in their app. The other example we look at is the New York Times. What we look at there's a new National Geographic show coming out, their first drama ever, actually, according to the article, called Killing Lincoln, centering around the assassination of Lincoln. And what they do is they actually take the old print version of their article from the day after Lincoln was assassinated. They got some rapport there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talk about SEO, right?
Yeah.
And they actually make a digital version of the old article for you to scroll through and read.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff, and it's stuff that, why are we bringing this article into play? It's because we want you to start thinking we always say, think outside the box. Mm-hmm. There's no formula for this. There's no blueprint to getting ranking or for folks to find you or build your brand. You do whatever it takes in a good way. Yeah. In a legal way to get these things done. And I think that interacting with ads is the next big thing.
Yeah, a few episodes ago we talked about viral marketing and how you really just don't come into it. Like you can't just, or I'm sorry, that you do just come into it. You can't really create viral marketing, right, but you can fall into it. Looking at things like the Delta one or the New York Times one is an interesting way to think about it. Thinking about other ones like that Oreo tweet during the Super Bowl.
Right, exactly. Super Bowl, the Super Bowl that just passed, lights go out, and you have a company like Oreo's, marketing team that jump right on it, and they tweet out, "You can still dunk in the dark." Yeah. A picture of the Oreo. So they had to make some graphic work. They had to come up with a headline. And in the marketing world, when you think about that stuff, it's pretty amazing that they were just right on the ball with that and just jumped right on it.
Really, really cool.
Yeah, let's jump into the next one. This is one that I really like. This is stuff that we deal with all the time at the studio. Useful guidelines for sensible mobile web design. What is the molten? Oh, multi-info tech. I'm like looking from a distance.
The tech guys. This is Rachna Jain. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
This is a great article. Look, really, what it's boiling down to is if you've already been developing websites for the desktop experience the right way for the last 5 years, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's following function. It's beware of not putting out too much content on the homepage or on the site in general.
Yep.
Making navigation visual and easy. It's stuff that we've been preaching about the desktop all along. Yep. It's just that when the sites get into the hands of the clients, it's just an overload. It's just an attack, a barrage of.
I want this and this and this and this, and I want to be able to go this and have them do this and have them do that. In a lot of cases, that's just way too much. And if you're selling to somebody or selling a product to somebody as a small business, you just want them to be able to just get what they need and get out, sort of, kind of. Especially in the mobile market, we talk about. I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush. People who are driving down the highway, barreling down the highway with their smartphones, right? And they're just looking to find out when this restaurant is closed or whatever, or they want to create an order somewhere and they're on their way to pick it up. The world is moving so quickly these days. Having your website easy to use, easy little links to tap on, make it very easy to find, very visual in that sense. Reduce the amount of user interaction required. Just make it very easy to just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, and for folks like us that are consulting with clients and building sites for clients, the advantage now is we're telling people, look, we need to fit it in this little space. Right. Even though these little spaces are high resolution phones, 720, 1080. Right. There's still a lot of pixel space, but there's not a lot of visual or interfacing space. Right. So we get to say, look, we really can't fit all that stuff, and they say, okay, yeah, it's a phone. I guess you're right. Yeah. I guess we do have to strip out all the extra stuff I don't need.
Yep. Very cool. So now we're going to move on to the next one, which is transform link building into brand building in 2013. Want to pronounce the name of the author on this one for me?
I don't, actually.
It's I believe it's Pratik Dolakaya. I hope I just pronounced that correctly. But it's on Search Engine Journal. Okay, and it just basically takes you through a few steps on how to change your outlook on SEO and best practices there, from just building links, and we'll talk about that in the next article a little bit more in depth with co-citation and stuff like that. But make it more about the brand and less about the link itself.
Yeah, this is the thing. If you're just starting out with SEO, you've heard us say it a million times. I'm sure you heard many people say it a million times. SEO is not advertising. Right. It's not advertising. It's a little bit of marketing and some technical stuff, but it's not send people, turn on that faucet by throwing some money at it.
Right.
Have that faucet coming out and all this traffic's coming to my site. And then as soon as you stop spending the money, the faucet goes off. That's advertising. Right. Sure, there's marketing and brand awareness and advertising, but that's only because you're spending money time and time again to get that brand out there. Whereas SEO is organic, where we're saying it doesn't cost money to get that ad out there, but it does cost money to kind of do all this stuff. If that makes sense. It's just one of those things that once that snowball gets rolling of SEO, it's harder to stop it. Whereas in the beginning, it's harder to get that ball rolling. Whereas advertising is instant gratification. I just had this conversation with a client the other day who's doing SEO with us, and he said, "Hey, I've got this thing I want to promote. And I've got X amount of units left that I need to sell. Can we do a push with SEO to sell this stuff?" And I said, "No. Go back to the keyword you just said. It's promote. It's promotion. It's advertising and promotion. If you have to push X amount of units by a certain date, your avenue is not, if it's in 2 weeks, you don't say, let's do some SEO in 2 weeks and see if we can push 8 sales. You're going to do advertising. If that's, that's what you need to do.
Yeah, we talk about SEO all the time in the show. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's the SEO lunch, but in a lot of cases, just traditional advertising may be the right route for you.
Right. If that doesn't make sense to you, raise your hand and ask us a question, and we will be sure to answer that.
The other thing mentioned in this article as well is the rise of something called co-citation, which I think we should definitely touch on here. It was a topic that Rand Fishkin recently talked about on his Whiteboard Fridays and whatnot. But what it basically says is, rather than anchor text and having alt tags and things like that, and the traditional means of getting your website seen, somebody searches for something, and because that keyword they looked for was in your, title of your web page, that's the one that's going to land on Google. He's saying that in he's an expert. He's saying that this is going to be going in a different direction. Something called Co-Citation, which basically says if your website is consistently known for a certain thing or consistently linked to a certain thing. Randy, he does Consumer Reports with cell phone sales or cell phone reviews. So even though Consumer Reports doesn't say, cell phone reviews by Consumer Reports on their website anywhere, Google's algorithm is more smartly correlating cell phone reviews and Consumer Reports because other websites that people have made without any links in them are just saying this cell phone review is brought to you by Consumer Reports.
Right. Right. It's correlation.
Right.
Google has a tool called Google Correlate, where you can just see like what is Google correlating my site with.
Yep.
Again, if we go back to the pizza example, if somebody correlates pizza and cheese and meats and doughs come up as correlations, that's a good thing.
Right.
But you could be, what the Co-Citation is saying is, let's say you're a company that sells cheese. Yeah. But you have, you have all these cheeses. And maybe you did an info piece once or a blog post once about, cooking with cheese and making. Maybe you don't even mention pizza, but it's about making food with cheese. Right. You could potentially get ranked for pizza. Right. Because you're a cheese maker, and cheese is so closely tied to pizza making. And you rank so well with your other stuff that you could correlate with that. This is a great article, Search Engine Journal. Check it out. It'll be in the show notes. This one shows this. I like this one because you get 10 points, and these are 10 points that you could really expand on each one. It really shows you the broad scope. Absolutely. Of SEO. Let's go to how to build your presence with reversed guest posting. Reverse guest posting here, basically referring to, as mentioned earlier, the act of getting other people to come to your website and blog post, as opposed to sort of selling yourself or just throwing yourself at other websites. So getting person A or person B to write on your website to grow traffic. This is what I kind of do with my blog, mattreport.com, mattreport.com, where if you want to go and learn about other WordPress entrepreneurs, I reach out to them. And I say, I have an audience of WordPress designers, developers, marketers, and other people who are running businesses on WordPress. Can you come on my show and talk to me about how you run your business so that my audience can benefit from that? Yeah. And that's what I do. It's it's an interview. Yeah. It's like a guest blog. Right. But I'm going out and reaching out to them. Definitely a good thing to try and do. Absolutely. What's an actionable item for that? Real estate agent. Yeah. How about we get a general contractor to come and blog on our real estate blog and talk about remodeling a kitchen? Yeah, because you're bringing over their clientele or their fans or people that are interested in that sort of thing to you in doing this and bringing somebody over there, and it's not costing them a cent. They don't have to really do any work themselves aside from talking to you or putting something on your blog. Yeah. Let's wrap it up with 16 marketing pickup lines from Brittany Leaning. Yes, on HubSpot blog. Inbound marketing blog. I just thought this was a cute little, this is a cute little thing. 16 different marketing pickup lines with those little sum cards meme things. Yeah, that you see all over Facebook. This is an interesting one. These are just little things. This is an example of creating content for people to share. Yeah, that's sort of fun. You're not going to learn anything here. Yeah. You might actually get angry looking at this especially if you're going through a breakup right now. Yeah. Valentine's Day, Singles Awareness Day. Yeah. But there are 16 different e-cards that you could tweet or link or pin, whatever, about Valentine's Day. But this is a kind of content. This is the outside-the-box thinking, like Oreo did, like HubSpot's doing here. They're creating shareable content, whimsical kind of stuff. It's not going to, bring any, deals to their site, but it gets shared. It's building that brand awareness. These are the little stepping stones that over the course of time, if you're doing this fun stuff with some other informational stuff, you'll start to build the brand awareness, and that's what the game is all about. Very cool. My personal favorite. I don't need to look at more data. What I'm filling with you is already statistically significant. Oh, Dan, you really know how to swoon me. So that is under 15 minutes, I think. I believe almost. So that is the wrap of SEO Lunch this week. A little late because of the blizzard, but we will be back on track next week. Yeah. 15 minutes of pure SEO goodness. actionable items for small business and beginners. We hope you like it. Let us know if you want us to bring up something else on the show.
Yeah. Have an article you want us to look at.
Absolutely.
Whatever it may be.
Do subscribe, slocumstudio.com/subscribe. That'll bring you to the newsletter, slocumstudio.com/blog. We'll give you this great information, plus all the other fun WordPress stuff that we do. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, guys.